Okay, so you can continue now.
Okay, so what we have for today is the topic says the path to progress. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna talk about. So we have like three things we're gonna focus on, which is what progress is, what brings about progress, and then what hinders progress, and then we can now go ahead to bring it down to our own personal lives. So first off, if I may ask you, what is progress? Like when you hear the word progress, what exactly comes to your mind?
Progress. Progress means a whole lot of things. It means a whole lot of things, and generally, you may say progress means when. How exactly do I explain progress? So, I would say progress can mean a situation where there is an obvious transition from one point to another, right? That can be considered to be a progress. When somebody is in a position and give the person some period of time, and when you come back, the person is no longer there. And there is a conspicuous transition between where somebody is or whatever thing is heated to a new position. I think, when people move from where they are or whatever they move from where they used to be to a higher level, that can be considered to be progress. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Where went you? I can hear you.
I don't know. I didn't even know I was not in the meeting. Don't know how that's happened. Anyway,
Interesting.
let's continue. So the path to progress. So I've already said the three things that we're gonna focus on. What progress is, what are the things that hinders progress, and what are the things that brings about progress. So I asked you, when you hear the word progress, what exactly comes to your mind?
All right, so I'm gonna go through that again, right? I said that, then maybe you went out. Okay, so I said progress basically means when there is a conspicuous change or advancement from, one's prior position to a new position. So you can equally say progress. Progress can mean improving, or you say advancing or moving towards a particular goal or destination. Now, the key word there is advancing and moving. There is actually a movement, right? There is a work done, and work basically means mass and insistence. So, a mass or a body has been able to transit over a given distance. So, when a body or when something has been able to move from one position to a new position, it's been considered to have advanced, and that particular act of advancing or moving or making a change from one position to another can be considered to be a progress.
All right. Yeah, so I think one thing you said that actually actually picked is when you said something about goal. Now you can't actually be talking about progress when you don't have like a set goals, right? You have to have a vision. You have to have like a set goal. Like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then that's when you'll be able to like track your progress and all of that. So progress is more like whatever thing it takes that you're doing to make sure that you're moving, you're advancing into accomplishing whatever your goal or whatever thing it is that you set is. All right, so that was a very wonderful definition. So simply put, we're just gonna say that progress is like advancement, as you said. You're moving towards something, towards a set goal, towards a target, right? You're having a significant shift. Like you're no longer where you used to be. In as much as you've not gotten there, but you're making a significant shift. So you're making a progress towards a particular set goal, towards a target. All right. So that's progress. So now we have things that can actually bring about progress. And so I think we have like let me say, I mean, for me, I think there are like three factors that actually make progress actually be. And we're gonna say that the first progress is actually relationships or main factor, then your own factor as a person, and then we can now talk about God factor. Then under the relationship or main factor, that's when you talk about honor, appreciation, you know, having the right kind of association around you and all of that. So when you talk about your own factor as a person, you talk about being diligent, all right? Being diligent in whatever thing that you're doing. And then we can talk about wisdom, right? And all of that. Now, there are things that are actually like very important when it comes to progress. Like there are these two particular things, like what brings about progress. There's so many of them. Just like I say, relationship, your own factor, and then God. There, all these other things, fell within these three factors. We have favor, we have appreciation, honor, diligent association. We have discipline, right? Strategies, having the right strategies, and then we have prayer, we have wisdom. And then we have setting goals and attaching time to them. Now you have to set a goal, right? If you don't have a goal, you can't actually say you're making progress towards what exactly you're making progress towards. So you have to have a set goal and then possibly attach time to every of the action steps you're going to take to make that progress to be. So you don't just assume, oh yeah, this is the goal, this is what I want to do, and then that is it. You have to set like actions. And those actions you may as well try to attach time to them for them to actually become. So all these things actually fell within these three factors. I talked about relationship or man factor, and then your own factor, and then God factor. Now there's these two things that actually, you know, are actually like very important when it comes to advancement towards goals. And that is acceleration and speed, right? So we have speed and then we have acceleration. Now, you always hear people talk about speed and acceleration, like as if they are one word or something, right? So we have speed now. You are making more people can actually two persons can actually be working at this for the same working towards the same goal, but the speed at which they're making progress may actually differ depending on how they are working towards that progress, right? Someone else might decide to be very disciplined, diligent, and all of that, and honoring people, having the best strategies and everything that he needs to have, and then he's making massive progress through, and he's making so much, as in the speed at which he's making his progress actually like a lot. Why there's someone else who is also making progress, but sluggishly. Maybe there is no speed at which, I mean, the speed at which the person is making progress is actually like slow. Depending on whatever thing that might actually be causing that, it might actually be so many factors depending on the person. All right, so we're talking about speed. So speed is more like the rate at which it's more like the rate at which you're able to make those accomplishments, right? Like, so speed is actually like very important when it comes to making progress, because speed, I think, in physics, I think speed is actually change over time or something. That's the calculation. So speed is always like time dependent. And so you know how important time is actually for life and everything about life. So assuming you have a set target, you have a set goal, you have anything that you want to be progressing towards, speed is actually one thing that helps progress to actually be. So whatever thing that is going to speed up your progress, right? Whatever thing that is going to bring about this your progress, whatever thing that is going to make this your progress evidential, whatever thing that is going to make it to happen faster. I mean, you need that. So then we'll talk about acceleration. Now, acceleration, in the other way, is actually the rate at which your speed actually changes. So at some point, people might actually be making progress at a very high frequency. So now high frequency, now we're assuming that to be speed, right? So maybe something happens on the way, or, you know, whatever thing might have happened or do, and then the rate at which they are now applying, energy and everything into the whole progress might actually like slow down, but they are still making progress, right? But for the fact that they are slowing down, and then maybe they slow down, then they move up again, so that is actually acceleration. So the change at which, the rate and the change in your speed, the change in that frequency at which you're moving, is actually what acceleration is. So what are the things that brings progress again? As I mentioned, I said acceleration and speed. I said discipline, favor, appreciation. We have honor, we have diligence, we have association, we have strategies, we have prayer, we have wisdom, we have setting goals and attaching them to every of each action step. So I don't know if you have any additional things that you think that might actually cause one to, say, yeah, I'm actually making progress. What are the possible factors you think may actually bring about progress in life or in anything generally?
When you're talking about the concept of progress, a whole lot of things that are factors or determinators to people making progress. Most especially, what I consider most important is discipline and being focused. Because when you are on the path to progress, like um, in fact, one of the major things that you need to equip yourself with, or you need to gain mastery, is how to stay focused and how to eliminate distractions, and how to eliminate distractions basically. Now, if you've set up your mind that this is basically what you're gonna do in order to achieve what you want to achieve in a given period of time, then what that means is that you have to stay true to the dream, stay true to that. You have to remain focused, disciplined. If you say every day I'm going to put in so many hours, or n XYZ hours to the course of advancing towards that particular path that you've set yourself for, you ensure that you did. So, and what am I trying to say? Basically, I'm saying discipline, and being focused are major things that I think yes, you have the God factor too as well. Yes, you have the God factor there. Uh, the God factor there, when you must have applied discipline, when you must have, done your own part, then the God factor is there. But, basically you have discipline, you have been focused, and you have the God factor. So these are part of the things that I think, I would believe, strongly believe, are contributors to making progress.
All right, that's all.
Hello, hello, hello.
I hear you.
All right,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, so that is it about what's the factors that brings about progress. So let's talk about the possible things that can actually hinder progress. So what are the possible things that can actually hinder progress, right? So we already talked about the things that might actually enhance progress. And so what are the possible things you think that can actually cause a hindrance to one's progress?
Yeah, so many things that can hinder, they can hamper you making progress. There are some certain things that can slow down the pace of you making progress. It all depends on the aspect of the progress you're talking about, right? Now, the whole lot of things happen. It all depends on the part of progress that we're talking about. Now, when you're talking about career progress or you're talking about technical progress or some certain things, the whole lot of things, more like relationship, the kind of relationship you get yourself into, and more like the kind of persons put yourself into, you try to relate into. Most of the times to your family, family can equally hinder us, slow down the pace to progress and not staying true to it, not staying true to the main, like not really being disciplined enough to, you know, do whatever thing you've asked or you've tasked yourself to do each and every day, basically. Not doing that can equally hinder your path to progress. So these are most of the things that can hinder someone from, these are some of the things that can be stumbling blocks to someone making progress.
All right, thank you very much for that point. So, in addition to that, you said we have procrastination. So procrastination can actually hinder somebody's progress when you keep saying, oh yeah, so I'll start tomorrow, I will start today, I will start next tomorrow, I'll start on a Monday. All right, it's already the weekend, let's start on a new week. So no, stuff like that, procrastination can actually um hinder somebody's progress. And then we'll talk about excuses, right? So excuses. So if you keep finding excuses, like the truth of the matter is, if you want to find 1,000 reasons why you wouldn't do something, you will even find 1,001 reasons, right? If you are looking for excuses why you wouldn't do something, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So if you're looking for excuses at which you won't do anything, you'll find more than you're actually looking for. So I think that's actually like best ways to actually deal with excuses, right? Because excuses are actually like very applicable to everyone. Like everyone can actually make excuses, right? Or so possible ways we can actually tackle excuses is, first of all, you have to like know and define your excuses, right? So because most of the time we even make excuses for our excuses. So people actually excuse their excuses, which doesn't really make sense, or even live in denial that such thing is even in existence. Like they'll say that no, I'm not making excuses. It's just that. So you have to know and define your excuses. Then for you to be able to get rid of them, right? You have to come to an agreement that all these things are actually excuses. It can actually do away with them if you choose to. So you don't have to, keep living in denial or telling yourself this one and the other one and all of that. So, and there's no excuse, there's excuse enough if you actually like take your time to deeply and honestly think about it. So if you actually take your time to deeply and honestly think about whatever excuses you're making, you find out that this excuse is actually not excuse enough. You tell yourself the truth that this thing you're actually calling excuse, like it will not help you. And so when you're able to know and define your excuses, like tell yourself the truth, right? This is actually going to help you to get rid of those excuses and you'll be able to do better. So another thing that can actually hinder progress, there's this thing that is called imposter syndrome, right? When people are always feeling like not supposed to be here. Maybe here is meant for people that this, here is meant for people that, and all of that. And so people might actually set goal to become something or to do something, right? You might actually want to get fit, or something, but then you're so fat that when you enter the gym, find out everybody in the gym is having six packs already, only you. And the worst is that you're not just having six pack, you're having a very big pot belly. So you might start feeling like you're imposed, that you're not even supposed to be here at all, that this is not for you. So you might just decide to just leave. And then this can happen in so many, even in academics, right? People can actually be in a place where they feel that people that are here are smarter than you or something like that. So you start feeling like you're an imposter. And then you want to just find your way out and all of that. So that is also a factor. Another factor to that is pride, right? For you to actually make progress, right? Learning is actually like required. You have to like, keep, I mean, you can actually learn from anybody. If actually people understand that you can learn from anybody. So if you can actually allow yourself to learn, if you actually like you're teachable, right? Yeah, you can always humble yourself to be able to learn and make progress. And then we have envy and jealousy. Now, there is something, most of the time, there is nothing wrong with having a competitive spirit. Like you want to, you know, become, maybe it's you're working in an office and then you have a target, you want to become the general manager or you want to become this by this time and all of that. So maybe you already know that the next general manager is going to retire soon. And so they're like three of you or thereabouts, they are supposed to make one of you have to become the next time and all of that. So instead of you to focus on your own self and be working on your own self and be tracking your progress to see how you are even getting closer to such position, you're busy putting up unnecessary competition, enviousness, based on the basis of envy and jealousy, um by among. So all those envy and jealousy is actually not is one of the things that hinders people's growth because it's a total waste of time, right? Time that you'd have used and do something else. Time that you'd have invested in, making other better decisions. You're just, using it to do rubbish. Might just start gossiping or stop doing stuff that does not really worth your time. So, and also this envy and jealousy can actually be, I think it has something to do with lack of wisdom because if you have wisdom, if you have an understanding of time, right? You not go and involve yourself in stuff like that. You just focus on your own self and keep working towards your goal. Allow other people to, do their own thing, right? The sky is more than enough for everybody to fly. So just do your own thing and allow others to do theirs. Okay. Yeah. So I think we have other ones like dishonor when you don't honor people, right? There might be a place that, there are actually human factors actually that can help someone to make progress faster, that can, bring acceleration and speed. People can actually call your name in rooms and, call your name for opportunities and stuff. But if you're that kind of person that don't honor people or you are so full of ingratitude, you keep getting denied and all of that. And you find out that your progress is actually being hindered. You're doing everything you're doing by your own self. You're disciplined, you're focused, you're diligent, you're all of that. But then you have zero honor and you're not grateful. For stuff. Maybe people give you opportunities and stuff, and you don't even come back to say thank you. They might not even come back to give you another one. And so those are all the possible things I think that can actually hinder progress. Now, when we talk about progress, right, it's actually sounding like as if we're talking about growth. So, but then I had to find out like, okay, is there actually a difference between growth and progress? Do you actually think that there is a difference between growth and progress?
Actually, there should be. I believe there should be a difference between growth and progress. Definitely, there should.
Do you have an idea of what that can actually mean?
I think growth, you know, um, how do I put it now? Looking at the word growth in, okay, now progress means when you, when you, when you, it's obvious that you're moving from, that it's obvious that you're moving from there is a significant change, right? There is a significant change. And as a result of probably what you're doing, right? Okay, let's take for instance, you learn as a result of your learning, you moving from one position to another, right? Now you are seeing the effect of your learning, and the effect of your learning is leading to you moving or changing from one place. I don't know whether I'm correct in it, leading to you changing or metamorphosing from one place to another. So it's quite conspicuous. You're making progress. But now, on the other hand of growth, right? You may, you may, you may really be, how do I put this? I don't know. Just explain.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. So I mean, growth can actually, somebody can decide to grow in their life holistically, like without set goals, without set anything. All right, you can just decide to, okay, I can actually do better for myself. I can actually do better. You don't have any goal, right? You just decide, okay, yeah, I just want to do better for my life. I just want to do this. I just want to become a better person. Now there's no set goals. You're just, generally growing in whatever thing you feel like is going to help your life, right? You do not have anything defined. You don't have any clear goals. Say there's nothing actually that you're setting, that you just made up your mind, like, yeah, holistically, everything about your life, you just want to grow, you just want to be a better person, and then you just keep on doing your thing. All right, so you might actually, be making you might actually be making advancement in some areas, while you're not even making in some areas and all of that. So there is no target, there is no goal. You're just growing, you're just, doing what you feel is better. You're just doing what you feel like is going to, make your life better, it's going to enhance your life and all of that. But progress, on the other hand, like I say when we started, always has something to do with a clear definition of where you're going to. It has something to do with defining goals. It has something to do with, meeting target. It has something to do with, there is always like a set goal. There's always like a clear defined goal that you're working towards. All right. So people can actually grow without making progress. And then there are three things that actually have header. In that situation, we can actually say that, okay, this person is actually growing without exactly making progress in this exact place. So just like I was defining, so we have lack of direction, right? So if you don't have any direction, if you don't have any clear goal, so you growth can actually happen, right? But progress is not actually translating into any progress, because you don't have any set goal. There's nothing. You might decide, okay, yeah, I just want to do this. I just like, there's nothing. You don't have any set goal. You're just holistically working on anything. Just say, yeah, just want to be a better person. I just want to do this. There's no goal. You don't set any goals. There's nothing defined. So you're just growing, but there's no set goal there. So it might actually not translate into actual progress that you yourself actually need, or maybe you don't even know that you need or something. So we have stagnation in application, right? So growth without application to achieve any specific outcome stalls progress. So you are growing, but you're not as an applying that growth now. So we're gonna give an instance, like um it might be somebody that likes get there are people that I know that like getting certifications, right? They like going for conferences, they like writing CPDs, they like doing all these ones. But they're just getting all those certificates, but year in, year out, they are still in the same job. No increase in salary, no promotion, no nothing. I mean, they're actually growing, right? They are, learning one or two things from wherever place, but they don't have any set goal. They're just where they are. They just like the idea of getting certificates, or they just like the idea of going to conferences. I mean, going to those conferences is going to be adding information and knowledge into your life as well, which can actually translate into growth. But then you're not making any progress. Yeah, there is no defined, you don't have, even have it, you don't even know what you're doing. Just because you don't even know. So stagnation in application. So not putting all those things that you're gaining, all those things you are calling growth, not putting them into application actually stalls progress. So there is no because you don't have any defined goals, you're not making any application with all the growth that you're actually achieving. So, and then thirdly, we have misalignment of effort. Now, people can actually be growing in areas that does not contribute to a progress towards a particular goal they set, right? So if you assuming you set the progress to, um, let's say you want to learn a skill, right? You want to learn a skill, or you want to learn a tech skill, right? and then maybe you had money and you don't have a system, but you just that's your goal. You just want to learn a tech skill. You don't have a system, but then you also don't have a phone, or maybe your phone is bad or something, and then maybe you get money and then you just first of all just went and buy phone. Okay, we can actually say, yeah, you're growing because you got a new phone and all of that. Maybe we can actually account that for good, but you're not making any progress towards a particular goal. So it's more like somebody saying that I want to do this particular thing, I want to do this particular thing, but then the kind of things they are going into is not something that is going to be beneficial into that set goals that they have. So that's called misalignment of effort. So you're putting in effort, but you're actually putting that effort towards areas that are not going to add towards your progress. So these are just the three possible things that can actually cause growth to happen without progress happening as well. Okay,
Oh,
yeah, that is that.
that's that's very cool. That's very great. That's a lot of information. Thank you very much.
So do you have any question?
I don't have any question.
All right. So bringing it down to personal life. We'll finish speaking the whole grammar. So bringing it down to your personal life and to your relationship. Do you think you need to make you need to do you think you're doing everything that you're supposed to do to meet your set goals? Or do you think there are still things that you are supposed to do? Or are there things that you're making excuses for, you procrastinating, or is there anything like that?
Mm, Well, I wouldn't say I'm making the progress that I actually want to make. The whole lot of things that I actually want to do, I've set out time to do, but most of the times I eventually not end up not doing them because of either engagements, a whole lot of things just coming at the end of the day. So I wouldn't just say um I won't say I'm making that progress that I actually want to make, like the kind of progress I want to make. So no, I won't say.
Okay. So do you think okay, yeah. So do you think you have a tendency of being an envious or jealous person over over other people's progress? Maybe because your own progress is not, maybe the speed at which you are making your progress is not as much as those other people's on. Do you think you have a tendency, or have you ever been in that situation where something like that happened and then you are so envious of the other person, or you're so like jealous of the other person?
I feel like that nothing like that nature exists. Because over throughout my life, I've always been person that push people to see them, to see them become. I have a whole lot of persons that I've pushed that if you approach them and ask them if they can be sincere to themselves, they will tell you. So I actually believe that the sky is so broad that everybody can fly, right? So one of the things that I tell myself is when I see people making progress, I'm actually gonna clap for them because I believe my own time is definitely gonna come. So I mean, why should I be envious of people? I actually push people to ensure that they progress. In fact, if you're to be within my circle, if you're to be within my friend, and you kind of listen to
Wait,
what I tell you, it's
sorry, sorry, I've not been here since.
all right. So where did
Hello,
you
okay.
stop? I can hear you. What did you stop listening?
Well, the last thing I heard is that you said there are some people that you've pushed into becoming.
Okay, yeah. The whole lot of persons are pushed into becoming. So I don't believe that I will be envious of your progress. Not at all. I believe the sky is so much for everybody to fly and shine. And one of the things that I usually tell myself, if I see if I see my friends today, anywhere I see them progress, I usually go to the I'm usually one of their highest cheerers. When I have friends, when I see them post on LinkedIn, I'll go and clap for them. I'll go and hail them. When I see you making one, I will hail you. Even when I know that you're far away ahead of me, like definitely I'm gonna do that because I know that the height is something I'm gonna still attend to. And when I attend to that point, I expect you to celebrate me. So, one thing that I try to do is to ensure that my circle, right, is progressing at same pace, if not even more than my own pace, right? Yeah, there is no room for no, there is no room for. I've never been envious of someone's growth. Rather, I I I am motivated, or I look it as a challenge that I look at something I should attend to. I don't see it as no, not at all. I don't.
Okay, that's very wonderful. So I feel I mean there is one thing people actually should know about life, right? Is that I mean everybody's progress cannot be measured by, I mean you don't have to be measuring your progress by other people's progress. You can actually use yourself as you, I mean you can be measuring your today and your yesterday and then your today and your tomorrow and all of that. So your progress is actually individual dependent, right? So you can, I mean, if you feel that other people are doing stuff that you don't know and you feel you want to know that, I mean, you can always ask them, right? If you feel this person is doing better than you are, I mean, wisdom is going to teach you to actually submit and learn from that person if you have to. And even if the person does not want to teach you, maybe you can as well go and learn elsewhere. I mean, this is 21st century, so there is always um somewhere for you to actually learn, right? And so I mean anytime you see yourself actually feeling envious or jealous about people, right? You should actually have this understanding that, I mean, have you ever seen I mean there are so many species of birds, right? There are so many species of all of those things that are flying in the air. But have you ever seen where any of them collides on each other? I mean, you can actually be looking at the sky, you might not even see one bird flying. So the sky is actually more than enough. If the sky can actually be more than enough for all these birds to actually be flying and have, so much space to themselves. I mean, there is always a space for us, I mean, in this life. So you have to just have that belief that irrespective of what is going on, as long as you know you're doing what you're supposed to do and you know that you're in the right track, you know, that's another thing, people wanting to make progress in a place that is not even where they're supposed to be. So they keep struggling and struggling and struggling. So you have to, sit back and be sure that you're actually where you're supposed to be and doing the right thing and all of that. So you can just believe that every progress you're making is actually something, as long as you are, doing it, right? It's actually an investment into something and you have a goal, you have a target, so you're just working towards it. People are not your target, people are not your goal. People can actually help you. It can actually be a factor that will, bring speed or acceleration or any of that, but then they are not supposed to be like your focus. So you have to like, keep moving, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So which of these factors that bring progress actually works best for you? Okay, I think you said discipline and focus. So those are your secrets of progress, discipline and focus. So those two actually work best for you. Or do you have any other thing that works best for you?
Yeah, I think that works best. How exactly do you mean?
I mean, you said discipline, you said focus. So do you have any other additional stuff that work for you when it comes to
That work
progress? All right, you said Just like discipline and focus. Do you have
Okay,
any other
yes.
factors that you yourself works for you, that works for you yourself, aside from discipline and focus?
Yeah, discipline, you have focus, and if you want to make a progress,
I'm
if you
talking
want to
about
make a
you.
progress, is it?
I'm talking about you personally now, right?
Yes,
I'm talking about you.
yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming there. So for me, um, when I when I okay, I want to talk, okay, let me just talk about it. I don't want to go personal. Let me just talk about it in broader. Let me don't paint personal picture. So now for me, things like having people that have really have really attained to that level where you think you want to be, people that have made significant progress, you have them, you listen to their podcast. So if they are the kind of persons you can have one-on-one relationship with, you have one-on-one relationship with. These are still part of the things that can accelerate your trajectory to making progress.
Okay. All right. That is wonderful. So our take home today is what progress is, which we have come to understand that for you to actually say you're making progress, you have to have like a clear, defined goal. You have to have a target. You have to know where you're going to, right? For you to actually say, yeah. I mean, if we're going to use people that are running in the track field, for an example, right? So they know where they are running to, like they already know what their target is, right? So everybody is running towards that goal, that same goal. So what actually differentiates between the person that came first and the person that came last is actually the speed at which they get to that particular place. But at the end of the day, nobody's giving up. Everybody's running towards that particular goal. So even if you find out that you are the last person coming, you have to still run, keep running. You have to still get to that particular place every other person is going. So then we talk about the things that can actually, enhance progress. So we talked about you said discipline, focus, and listening to people that have been there already. And then there is a place of diligence, there's a place of determination, association, wisdom, and all of that. So we talked about acceleration and speed. So sometimes you can actually be moving at a very high frequency. Like you're just, yeah, you're so motivated, you're so enthusiastic about this your set goal. Then all of a sudden your speed start coming down. So you find out that you're no longer like, doing as much as you used to do. So that is actually you declining. That's actually you not exactly putting the same energy that you used to put before. So you have to like, look inwards and find out, okay, what could possibly be causing this, causing me not to be working towards what I'm working like. So sometimes when people actually things like that happen, maybe because people are not seeing results, right? Maybe you're thinking that yeah, if I do this and do that and do that, I'm supposed to see this result. But then when they do that and do that and then you don't find results, it kind of slow the pace at which they are moving. But you have to keep moving, right? If there's something you think you're doing wrong, you can always, check yourself and find your track back and keep moving, right? So we have the things that we say that hinders progress: procrastination, excuse, pride, dishonor, imposter syndrome, and then we talked about envy and jealousy. And so anytime you find yourself acting that way, I mean, you know that you're not doing the right thing. Right? Anytime you see yourself being envious of people, because this thing is actually one thing that is always hindering people's progress. Like, envious of other people that that you started with, or even people that you started before, right? So stuff like that. So anytime you're thinking about that, know that now you're no longer blossoming as a flower that's supposed to be there. Because you're trying to become a weed, right? Trying to become an unwanted plant, and that's not cool. So you're supposed to focus on yourself, be a flower that you are, and keep blossoming, right? So keep flying like an eagle. You're not a vulture. It's only vulture that can be jealous than an eagle. So you focus on being an eagle, focus on being a flower. So you keep your mind on the goal. And if you have to humble yourself to go ask those people questions, good for you. And if you don't get the answers, you can always look elsewhere. Right? There's multiple people that have been where you are right now. So or they're already where you want to be. Some people have even passed that place you want to be. So you can always make inquiries. And so we talked about growth without progress. That it can happen when there is a lack of direction, when you don't have a clear set goals. You might just be growing and then not, and it will not be translated into any progress. And then stagnation in application, where we said that you are growing without applying what you are, yeah, without application to achieve any specific outcome. So that actually stalls progress, right? So you're just getting the whole certification, but you're not um practicing. Like there are people that so much love theory. They just want to be reading and getting the whole certification. But when it comes to application, when it comes to practical, you don't even see them there. So here we have a misalignment of effort, right? So growing in areas that don't contribute to your progress towards a particular goal. So if you have a progress of being, let's say you have you want to be a runner or you want to be doing all this marathon stuff and all of that. So going, hitting the gym and, getting fit is actually like very important. That is you growing. But if you don't actually get your feet to the field to start running, I mean, until we start doing all of that, until you start running, until you start going for runs and all of that, you won't see any progress towards that goal. You just be getting fit and that's that. So these are all the things that we talked about. And yeah, thank you very much. And then also the God factor, right? So God can actually give man speed. God can actually brings about acceleration. God can actually bring about relationship. I mean, God can actually bring about the men that you need to actually bring about the progress. I mean, God can even give you the strategies that you need. There are so many divine strategies, divine directions, guidance. Maybe you're wasting your time doing what you're not even supposed to do. So the God factor, we are not going to meet that. So you can go into God in prayer, go to God in prayer and ask him to direct you, ask him to help you, ask him to guide you, to lead you to the best way. So maybe you are just following someone else's step, right? The way this other person did their own, but that is actually not the way that it's supposed to work for you. And so you can always get ideas at the place of prayer. So I think with that, I can say that we've come to the end of the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What a wonderful session today. Thank you once again. I believe we must have both have actually learned a lot, and I believe both of us have actually learned a lot from this. I pray that we all progress in whatever areas of our life that we all desire and strive to progress in. For in Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So thank you very much for showing up today. Let's do this again,
Okay.
same time next week. Till then, keep being amazing and bye for now.
Yeah, I think there's one more thing I'll meet about. I don't know if we can do that on recording anyway. I think we can end the recording and then we'll talk about that just a few minutes.